Thank you. Powerful. You are greatly appreciated, Rosemary, and I would like to take this opportunity also to welcome the members on board, but also wish you a happy new year. So let me straight away go to the sharing of the document. Are you able to see it? Can you confirm if you are?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
It's very clear. We can see.
great.
Mm.
Thank you so much. Uh, yes, colleagues, today we shall be looking at from vision to action, how to set goals that drive business growth in 2025. I believe most of us, if not all of us, always towards the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, we are fascinated by coming up with personal and business goals. So we just want to build on that and see how best can we distill these into actionable goals that will propel us to the next levels of growth. Rosemary has already introduced me. I'll just go straight to the presentation. I'll be giving a brief introduction. After that, we shall look at why goal setting is essential for business growth. After that, we shall look at the critical behaviors that entrepreneurs need to set goals, and also remind ourselves on how to make smart goals, but also look at scanning through our various businesses. Where do we base our goals? What are the key critical areas? But also I'll definitely make a conclusion and come up with a very simple worker plan that can guide us, that can make us really get to implementing our goals for 2025. Thereafter, we shall welcome any question, and then responses will be made accordingly. Okay, just before we dive into our session, just look at a time when you set a goal. Hello, can you see the presentation?
Yes, it's on. Yeah.
Okay. Just look at a time, a moment when you set a goal. And at this moment, I would like each one of you to write one of the goals that you set for this year. Just one goal. You may not necessarily write it in the chat. You can write it just somewhere if you have a notebook along with your pen. Just one goal. We shall be referring to this later. But also, if you don't mind, you can share it in the chat. All right, let me start off with a very simple story just to illustrate what we shall be going through. This is the story of a younger gentleman called Kwafu. Kwafu lived in Chagwe, which is Mukono, and probably Wikwe, but a little bit near here, Mukono municipality. So one day he chose to come to Kampala city, and he never had any man on him. He had been told by a friend that actually you can follow the railway line and reach Kampala. And being a village boy, Kwafu got on the railway line straight away from Kono, walked all the way through Seta, Namave, connecting up to industrial area, Chinawataka, and finally getting to industrial area through Nakawa. And all of a sudden, he found his way getting off through the Mukwano Road access. He came towards the yard, but also followed through to the roundabout of Wampewo, and he got stranded. When he got stranded here, he looked at all the possible roads that he could take. The one going to back to Bugolobi, there's the one which was coming to the city center, the one going to Nakawa, and then the one going to towards Hotel Africana. As he was stuck there, he pondered until he came across an old man who was also passing by. And he asked this old man, which route can I take? The old man pondered a little while and answered, Kwafu, where are you going? And Kwafu replied, I do not know where I'm going. Then the old man replied, if you do not know where you are going, just take any of these routes. You'll reach there. It's interesting that Kwafu, for a little while, got stuck at this very place. So I just want you to go to the chat and just write a few lines, one sentence or two. What was wrong with Kwafu? Then what could he have done differently to avoid this situation where he was stuck, not only stuck, but also embarrassed? Let's get to the chat room just for a few minutes to respond to that. One, what happened to Kwafu? Two, what could he have done differently? Reading from the few that have so far come through. Yes, Damali says Kwaf had no plan and direction. Yes. What you could have done differently, he would have planned before even setting off from Chagwe. Then Christine says he set out without a plan. Yes. Faith says Kwafu had no plan and direction. Looks like many are rotating around no plan and direction. Nantongo says should have told the old man that he was going to Kampala. Actually, he was already in Kampala, but maybe he was not aware of the exact spot where he was going and maybe whom he was visiting. Then Christina says should have determined what he wants to get or where, yes, he wants to go before even setting off from Chagwe or Wikwe. Yes, Susan says Kwafu had no plan. Yes, just resonating well with the previous. The same to Catherine. Then we have Harriet saying he didn't know where he was going and what he was going to do. Yes, if at least he knew what he wanted to do, he could have been directed well. Yes. Stephen says Kwaf didn't, okay, maybe he missed something, have his final destination. Okay. And why? Kwaf had no plan. Yes, he was not clear and had no vision. And mantra, yes, he didn't know the actual place to go. Yes. Okay. Juliet says he didn't know where exactly he was going and didn't know what he was to do. Yes. Roland says he didn't know where he was going. Yes, this is just in line with the previous respondents. Kwaf had no plan before his departure. That's from Perez. Then Florence says he didn't have a plan. He should have planned his route earlier. Perfect. Then Stephen says he would have determined his destination and purpose. Okay, great. Kwafu did not have a target. Sure. That is from Chigwe. Then Ephraim says he had not predetermined his destination. Wow. Then Juliet says he needed, maybe she could have missed something. Where and what specifically, where he was going. He had no purpose. Sure, his plan too general, not specific enough. That is from Harriet. Then Joram says he wasn't clear, and so the guidance was hazy. So the old man could not easily direct him. Yes, Peter Kibuka, he didn't have smart objectives. He had no plan earlier for the journey. He didn't do that. This is from Francis Passy. Maybe he also added what you could have done differently. You should always have a goal and plan on how to achieve it. Wonderful. Kwafu had a goal, but he didn't have a plan. Okay, just a few among others. All right. Let's get back to our presentation. Okay. Good, good. Also from those who have responded, we see very clearly, one, that Kwafu never knew specifically where he was going. It's also very clear that he never had a plan, okay? Kwafu never had a plan. Kwafu never had a plan of where he was going. But also it's clear that Kwaf just started the journey without really thinking through where exactly he was going. Okay? So it's evident, even in our businesses, the same can happen to us. Okay? It can happen that you are undertaking a venture, a business enterprise, and it's not very clear where you want to go, which destination you want to take. It can also be quite clear that you do not know where you want to be, say 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So it could also be possible that there's no vision. And usually it's the vision that sets the pace for the business goals that you set. Okay.
Noah, are you on or is it me? No, have we lost you? Oh, it's me who is off.
Hello? 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 Rosemary, can you hear me? Oh, yes. So
Yes.
just the moral of the story is very clear from the responses that have been given, that we need to know where we are going, just as I was comparing that to the vision. Setting goals is the first step in nurturing the invisible into the visible, just as it was said by Tony Robbins. The goals help an entrepreneur to turn their vision into reality. It makes it very clear for them to see where they are going, what steps have so far been covered, And it makes it very clear for them to appreciate the fact that entrepreneurship is a journey. It's a journey where if you fulfill a certain goal, when you accomplish a goal, then you have to move on to the next step or to the next goal. So goals are a cornerstone for entrepreneurs to build a successful business life. It's the goals that drive the entrepreneurs. They are the engine which motivates them, which energizes them. It allows them to visualize their future by taking into account the present conditions. Entrepreneurs will do a SWOT analysis and appreciate their strengths, their weaknesses, their opportunities, their threats, and thereafter set goals based on the current situations, but also they internalize the internal and the external factors that influence their operations. So goals are the base, the starting point that entrepreneurs need to develop, that they need to set. According to David McClelland and Lawrence Coley, who undertook the research that put up the Empretech Entrepreneurship Training Workshop, identified goal setting as key to determining the promising future for entrepreneurs. They also recognize the fact that goal setting is the foundation for all the other habits for successful entrepreneurs. We shall be looking at the relationship between goal setting and all the other key competencies that entrepreneurs need later. Successful entrepreneurs know in very clear terms what they want, unlike our friend Kwafu, who never knew what they wanted. So they clarify what they want in very certain terms, which are tangible. They use deliberate statements, which are the goals about their future, for them to accomplish. Sorry. Oh, have I?
Noah, are you on? I don't seem to hear you, Noah. Have we lost you?
Hello? Hello?
Okay, you're back.
Oh,
Please carry on.
great. Great, great. Thank you so much. Sorry for the hiccup. Sorry for the hiccup. I'm just trying to trace for my presentation. Okay. Okay, I'm there. So entrepreneurs will clarify in very clear terms key issues concerning their business using goals, issues around markets, issues around innovation. There are issues about the quality that they want to look at, the customer service, the human resource, issues to do with branding, issues to do with the technology, the strategy that they want to take, the expectations, especially in terms of capital growth. These are very key, and goals are very handy in ensuring that entrepreneurs appreciate these, but also clarify all these areas around their business in terms of tangible results. So goal setting makes a difference in generating the results that entrepreneurs expect to get. Why goal setting is essential for business growth. I believe most of us are aware of part of this, but does no harm when we remind ourselves that goals create a roadmap for the entrepreneur that helps you identify and manage your business better, to manage the business risks. Goals also help on employee buy-in. Goals are not just for you, the entrepreneur, but they are shared between you and the people you work through or you work with, including employees, including your fellow directors, as other shareholders, and even financials. Goals also boost team performance. They energize you, the entrepreneur. They also energize the colleagues that you work with, the employees, the directors. Goals also help you to execute your business strategy. They are a very solid foundation for the strategy that you design as an entrepreneur to achieve or to get the results that you want to get. Goals are also an excellent marker to monitor your business performances, since they are used as a yardstick to see what milestones are you achieving over a given period of time. Goals also present a challenge. Goal set must be challenging, not just something too easy to get, but something that stretches you a little bit, something that makes you get out of your comfort zone. But they also do help the entrepreneur to keep focused and start thinking outside the box, doing extraordinary things, doing things that they are not used to doing. Let's just look at goals as the driving force of the entrepreneur. Goals, as indicated earlier, they're drivers of the other key critical habits for success in business. For example, if you are seeking for opportunities, if you want to expand your business to new products, to new areas, if you want to look out for financing, for technology, definitely you need to set goals even under this habit or competence. Even in areas where you want to improve on the quality of the products, where you want to have innovations, where you want to put up processes or procedures that enable you work smart and better to attain efficiency, still you need goals. You need goals targeted towards what quality of products do you want to have? What efficiencies do you want to attain? All these require goals. But also when you are taking risks, when you are taking calculated risks, goals become very handy because they help you really work out and come up with moderate risks, not too high or not too low. But also goals propel or help the habit of persistency. In fact, if you persist without a goal, you end up becoming stubborn. We end up seeing you busy doing things, going up and running up and down, but we can't see any results. So for you to persist, you need to have very clear set goals, very clear targets that give you the energy, that give you the motivation to persist. Also goes a handy in fulfilling your commitments, making sure that you serve your customers better on time. You need to set targets. For example, if you're given an order, you need to set a goal. When will you be delivering? What time? What day? So we can see that goals are really interwoven in all these other critical habits that entrepreneurs need. Information seeking. If you're looking out for information about the customers, about competition, about the technology, Still, you need goals when you are doing research about the market, about your products. You need to set very clear targets on the type of information that you need. And when it comes to systematic planning and monitoring, you cannot have good plans without goals. So a plan without goal is as good as a dead one. So you need goals to plan better, to come up with very systematic step-by-step plans. For example, when you are undertaking the business plan for your business, you need to set targets that you need to achieve within a given period of time. But also when you are monitoring, you are like measuring, getting to know how far have you gone. The goals will guide you better here. When you are persuading and networking, still goals become very handy. Whatever you do, you need to set targets. Independence and self-confidence still requires you to set very clear goals. So we see from this that goals run around all key aspects, key habits that entrepreneurs need to grow their businesses. There is a quote here which says, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. There are scenarios or situations where we interact with the entrepreneurs and you get them celebrating over the achievements that they have made. But actually, when you dive deep and you ask them, they will tell you that that's what they have been able to get. And when you reflect back, actually, it was not their intention that they arrive or they get what they are celebrating about. So if you aim at nothing, definitely every time you are going to get it. So let's just look at what are some of these critical things that entrepreneurs do under goal setting. One, successful entrepreneurs set goals and objectives that are personally meaningful and challenging. Under here, entrepreneurs challenge themselves. They don't want to do things. They don't want to have targets that are too easy, that are obvious. They want something that is challenging, that stretches them, that makes them work harder. Their goals and objectives mean overcoming challenge. To them, they understand that goals help them sail through whatever timers, whatever storms that come their way. And we appreciate and know the fact that entrepreneurship has never been a smooth journey. And this particular aspect, goals are something that requires commitment, that require dedication from the entrepreneurs for them to be achieved. So goals are characterized by deep personal meaning. They attach personal meaning much as these are business goals. They look at them as something which is key, something which is very important for them to move from one level to the other. The other aspect that entrepreneurs do under goal setting is that they articulate in very clear and specific, they articulate clear and specific long-term goals. So they focus on the long term. They exactly know where they would like to go, and they have a very clear vision of their future. They visualize how success will be. They see success. They see the end from the beginning, and they look at what efforts are needed for them to achieve that success that they want. Even when they are faced with uncertainties, challenges, they do not lose this focus because they know it is important to stay focused. It is important to stay focused on the purpose that they want to achieve. Number three, a critical behavior under goal setting is that they also set medium and short-term goals. Here, successful entrepreneurs will establish medium and short-term goals in very concrete or clear terms. They appreciate the fact that it's the small steps, it's the smaller objectives which lead them to obtain or to achieve the bigger goals, which lead them to obtain the bigger vision that they want. So they appreciate the fact that goals will lead to greater results, and this will make every day more effective. So we have looked at the long term, medium term, and short term. I just want you to note the fact that this is relative depending on the size of the business. To some people, short term could be 6 months or below. To other bigger or medium businesses, short term could be a year or less, whereas medium term could be between 1 year to 3 years, and long term could be above 3 years, whereas to others, long term could mean 5 years to 10 years. So this is relative, but I want you to appreciate that even in your own context, you can come up with what works for you in terms of long term, in terms of medium term, and short term. There's a quote here which says, "The wind never helps a boat or a canoe that has no clear destination." So it is better to establish the course that you want to pursue. And the world conspires in favor of one's goals. I don't know if some of you have ever moved downtown. You see these guys carrying luggage, moving very fast. If you are moving very fast on the street or carrying a heavy luggage and moving very fast, everybody in that narrow street is going just to automatically give you way because they see that you know exactly where you are going. When you look at the energy that you are using, when they look at what you are doing, they just give way. So the world will always conspire in favor of one goals. If you know what you want to achieve, if you know where you are going. Yes, we have always come across this acronym, SMART goals, and we just want to look at it a little bit as we reflect on the goals that we set, the business goals, but also the personal goals. All goals can still use this, where S stands for specific, M measurable, A achievable, R relevant, much as other people have used realistic, but also the T for time bound. Let's just dive deeper at each one of these. When you look at this picture here, there is a market, a mass market. But even within this mass market, the entrepreneur should be able to define their niche market. If you are looking at, let's say, Nakawa division, and you are selling your products, let's say, to students, you should exactly be specific that you are going to sell your products to university students who are staying in hostels around this particular area. So, specific. S, what do I want to accomplish in clear, concrete terms? So, as you set your goal, let it be very clear. What are you speaking about? Are you speaking about sales? Are you speaking about production? Are you speaking about investment? Are you speaking about number of customers? So this should clearly come out as you set your goal. But also, what will you measure? And that's the aim. And this is especially one area where most of us are required to do a little bit more. So how will you know if you have accomplished it? There are milestones that we need to set, especially key performance indicators. If you are speaking about sales, what will be your key performance indicator? Is it the money? If you are speaking about increasing production and you are managing a farm, a dairy farm, is it the liters of milk? So you need to clearly come up with key performance indicators for each goal that will help you take the measurement to see how has this increased. If you looked at where you were last year, maybe the best or the baseline, are you making any strides? Are you getting any better as far as these key performance indicators are concerned? Is it the number of customers if you're looking at increasing the market? So you need to be very particular, or else you'll be like our friend Buffett, who was not definite on where they were going. Achievable? Yes. Do you have the appropriate resources in terms of the knowledge, in terms of the skills, in terms of the abilities, in terms of the assets? If not, how are you going to bridge the gap? But also in terms of being achievable, we also look at whether you feel challenged. Entrepreneurs always desire to be challenged. They want to do challenging tasks. In terms of relevancy, does this goal that you have set for 2025 move you towards your vision? Or it's something which is far off from your vision? Do you feel excited and motivated to reach this goal, which will finally help you reach or go to your vision or destination? Okay, so the last one is being time bound, which requires that you have to set a very clear time frame. If you have set out a goal to increase, let's say, production from 2,000 liters of milk per day to 3,000 liters per day, when will this be? Do you want to do this after 5 days, 10 days, in the 3rd month, in the 6th month? So there should be always a time frame target to your goal. All right, so let's just look at an example here, how to make the goal actionable. At the end of the day, you have to translate your goal into activities, into actions that have got to be implemented, or else it's just going to end on paper and nothing is going to happen. So we are just going to look at a simple example here for 1 year, and the goal we are using as an example to increase sales from 15 million to 20 million per month by December 2025. If we looked at our SMART acronym, it is specific, it's speaking about increasing sales. This entrepreneur is speaking about increasing sales, but also it's measurable in terms of shillings. These are shillings. Maybe I could have put there the denominator of the shilling from 15 million shillings to 20 million. This can be measured in terms of being achievable, depending on the resources at hand, the assets, the skills, the knowledge, the abilities, but also reflecting on the past performance. Yes, we can say yes. but also being relevant if it is driving us to our vision. I believe when we increase the sales from 15 to 20 per month, it's making us reach the bigger vision. Let's say if the vision for this entrepreneur is to be the leading supplier of, let's say, pharmaceutical products in Chali Wajala by the year 2030. I believe this is leading us towards there, but there is also the time element. This is specific in terms of by December 2025. So you have to break down the goal into activities or actions, but also highlight the period when this will be done and the responsible person. For example, utilizing this, we will have extracted just a few. Not necessarily only this, but there could be others. For example, this entrepreneur wants to start by identifying and opening up 3 outlets in Ntinda, Nakulabye, and Luzira by September. And this is to be done quarterly by March or the 3rd month. He wants to open up the first outlet in Ntinda. By June, he will set up the one in Nakulabye, and by September, should have set up the one of Luzira. Okay. So by September, we expect to do this, and you can fill in the responsible person. This could be the managing director. You can also fill it in by giving the real names of the person. The other thing that they want to do is to hire 6 extra staff. According to this entrepreneur, they want 2 staff per outlet, and the hiring of staff will be done slightly before the setting up of the outlets. And this will also involve training, retooling them, and taking them through what is required of them. So it's slightly done each month before, according to this simple annual work plan. Get UNABS certification by April 2025. We can see it's highlighted in April. Also can fill in who will be doing this in the last column. Set up social media presence by March 2025. So this has been earmarked for February and March. The responsible person also can be highlighted. This entrepreneur also wants to buy a delivery van, a small van, by May 2025. But also set up a website where they can continue advertising, but also communicating with their key stakeholders by March 2025. What is important is that you are advised to arrange these activities in the logical order as and when they happen. These are a little bit mixed up, but you can arrange them such that you move logically from point A to point B. There could be also other activities that cut across or that are done throughout the year or all the month. For example, selling can cut across, advertising. It's up to you to choose. If you're using social media, then each month this can happen. If you are using the print and other media, maybe you can choose to do either monthly or quarterly, depending on the availability of the resources and the need. Okay, so we have seen an example of a SMART goal, but that was regarding sales. So in most cases for business enterprises, the key drivers are the financial performance goals. Goals to do with cutting the costs, goals to do with increasing the revenue, goals to do with improving the cash flow, making it better in terms of a positive cash flow, but also goals around investments, machines, tools, land, equipment. However, goals will influence all the other key aspects that we call the business growth pillars. So there could be goals based on the marketing, for example, to increase the number of customers, let's say from 200 to 300 every week, maybe by this month. It could also be a goal based on increasing your competitiveness, your market share, to increase the market share, let's say from 5% to 70% in this locality by this time or period. It could also be a goal set based on production and operation, let's say to increase the number of loaves made daily, let's say from 1,000 to 1,500 by February 2025. It could also be based on the human resource, for example, to increase the number of employees from the current 10 to 15 by April 2025. There also goes around leadership, which is the governance and the strategy, and also the sustainability of the business. So goals drive all these key 5 pillars for business growth. It's up to you to see what works for you. But what is key? Please at least have key financial performance goals. At the end of the day, all these other aspects or pillars feed into the financial performance, like the revenue, the profit, and also the production and the investment. So as we conclude, we are saying that dream big, have a bigger vision for your business, not just a vision, but translate it into actionable business goals that are smart, that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, but also time-bound, which you can draw from the various pillars of the business. At the end of the day, what makes the difference is the word action, implementation. Just having nice goals, smart goals, without implementing to achieve them will not do you good as an entrepreneur. So have your goals very clear. Set out a plan which shows the various activities for you to achieve those goals and take action. Thank you so much, colleagues, fellow entrepreneurs. Over to you, Rosemary. It has been a great time interacting with you.
Thank you very much. Let's send flowers to Noah Wandera. Thank you so much, Noah, for ably taking us through goal setting. And for those who have just joined us today, we are looking at from vision to action, setting goals for 2025 so as to drive your business growth in 2025. And so Noah has ably taken us through the importance of having a goal. And so as I'm talking, I want you to put your questions in the chat so that Noah will take them and be able to respond. But what stands out for me is that it starts with having a vision. You must have a vision before you talk about setting goals. So you must first dream big, have the vision written, and then set your goals and finally take action. And he has taken us through what it takes, how you set smart goals. I like the examples shared. And so what is important, and Noah has emphasized, entrepreneurs must be intentional. Nothing happens by accident. If you don't set goals, you will be like Mr. Kwafu, who was going somewhere and actually didn't really know where he was going. And so the answer was any road will take him there. And so as entrepreneurs, we must be intentional about what it is we want to achieve in 2025. These goals set a roadmap for you. They also help your team to pull in the right direction with you. So if you don't have a vision and you don't have goals set for the year, your employees will come in every day, they will use your internet, they will make calls, they will not do anything, because the activities that your team is able to implement should be activities that are derived from the goals that you set for that year. So Noah, that was really very good. And I think that also I thought it's important, and you mentioned that as we set business goals, let's look at all the components of our business, the 5 pillars of business. Set goals to do with profitability. Set goals to do with your human resource. What skills do you want to give your human resource to improve this year to make them more efficient? Market share. What is your market share? How do you want to grow it? Which new markets do you want to enter? Somebody was saying, I want to start up now. I want to enter a new market. I want to start honey, I think in some area. Customers, what are your customers, or what's the customer profile you have currently? Which market segment, customer segment do you want to target this year? To say, maybe I've been serving, say, maybe young people at Makerere University, around Chikoni, Makerere University. Now I want to stretch maybe to another university in the neighboring area, or I want to target, so we need to be very specific on which customers we want to acquire this year. What products, your products, what feedback did you have last year from your product, from your customers? What did they say about your products? The other question is, do you actually take feedback? Do you ask for feedback on your product so that you use that to improve? So what are some of the areas that you're going to improve in your product? What features do you want to introduce? What packaging, the packaging of your product or your services, the features, the uses of your product. So that's an area you want to look at this year. Maybe it could be, how do you embrace technology? Now, in all this, we need to make sure that we are embracing technology. How are we using AI, artificial intelligence? How are we using AI to drive our businesses as we set our goals? And then also personal goals. As you as an entrepreneur this year, where are you going? What skills do you want to hone this year? What knowledge do you want to acquire? What networks do you want to acquire? I started telling you about our entrepreneurship training workshop, and the link has been posted. Please get into the chat. The link has been shared for applying or signing up for the entrepreneurship training, because that may be your goal as an entrepreneur, to say, I need to be able to improve my understanding of business, because we've talked about the 5 pillars of business, and maybe you're not even aware of the 5 pillars. Every business stands on those pillars. So this is an opportunity for you to sign up. So please sign up for our training. Sign up also for what we do. We also give you a complimentary business health check, because for some of you, maybe you've been running the business and it's even hard for you to set goals because you've not really understood where you are now, the current place. And so we have a complimentary business health check that you can sign up for again. And I think the link is going to be shared shortly. Derek, please share both resend the link for the ETW and share the link for those who want to sign up for the complimentary business health check. That is going to be an X-ray of your business. We come to you and give you a professional opinion of where your business stands in terms of, where are your strengths, where are your weaknesses. We examine those 5 pillars. And so we give you a clear picture of where you are, and that can help you to start as you set goals for the year. And so, Noah, thank you so much for that. And so let's get into the chat room. There are a number of questions that have been asked. I'll start with let me go back. I think Wabulembo Fazil says he's thanking us for the presentation. He's wondering, what should one do in case they realize that the goals they set 6 months ago cannot be attained due to some internal and external factors? What does one do? So Noah, you will take that question. A question from Florence Basima says, goals can be your objectives. Targets measure your performance, e.g. goal to increase sales of my product. So she's just expounding on that. Thank you very much. So targets, if your goal is to increase your sales from say 20 to 50 units per month by say June 2025, so your targets then will be to sell extra 3 to 5 products per day. So from your goals, then you come up with targets, and then you derive activities that you're going to actually pursue to be able to achieve those goals. So thank you very much for that, Florence. And Dage Ate says, my vision is setting a rehabilitation center for substance abusers. First is to educate adolescents to avoid drug use in school, educate parents on how to care and relate with their children, community outreach. Now, I just completed my master's certificate. How should I start? So Noah, please speak to that question. How does she start? She's just finished her education. She has a clear vision, but she's starting up a new business. So how then do you set goals for a business that you're just conceptualizing? Yes, and so definitely after this, we shall share. That is our practice. This presentation will be shared. You will receive an email. Even the link itself will be shared. And then Dr. James Senoga has added some insights. He's saying, one thing that I have found helpful also is setting the goals to the staff and identifying areas, activities each is expected to do exactly. Because when you start with the goals are for the business. They are for the institution. Now you break them down because they come down, and eventually you have work plans. So every staff, every department in your institution must have an institutional work plan and a departmental work plan. The work plan is really now implementing. Those are the activities you have said you want to implement to achieve the goal you set. If it is a profitability, so you want to increase, say, your sales by a certain percentage. And so the work plan now breaks down and says, different departments, how do we feed into this big picture? How does human resource department, how does finance department, how does the marketing department all contribute towards us achieving that specific goal? And so in their work plans, each of them will have specific activities that are all pointing or feeding to that goal. And so that's important. And so in the process, every individual in the department will have their specific activities that they will contribute to their department, which will then overall contribute to the institutional goals. Thank you very much. And then finally, David Batega is saying, is there a possibility that a business grows, her vision can change? And so let's take those 4 or so questions. And Noah, please take those as we get more. I also want to continue to encourage us, type in here, those who joined us late, it's an opportunity for you to network, to showcase your business. So in the chat room, tell us what you're doing, type who you are, what you do, where we to find you, and your contact. Over to you, Noah.
Okay, thank you so much, Rosemary, for that brief, but also taking us through the different questions. Let me start from down, going upwards, other than trying to look for where the question is through the chat. Yes, Moses, what's the difference between goals and targets? Very interesting. I saw somebody who had made the comment that goals are the overall, whereas the targets are the milestones. Depending on different schools of thoughts and background, we want to keep this simple, not to confuse the entrepreneurs. There are even those who will argue the difference between goals and objectives, okay? Whereas objectives could be the milestones or the specific targets in the short term, they all make you achieve your goals. So, yes, in other spaces, people use them interchangeably, but you shouldn't get lost in the semantics. Just know that you have SMART goals on key areas for business growth around the pillars of business, which could be short term, 1 year or less, medium term, up to 3 years, or long term, 5 years plus. But it's also good, especially for you to set very specific targets, because from these, then you'll be able to get the key performance indicators. The other question, now more questions are coming through, yet I was moving from down to up. Is the entrepreneurship training for only those already in business? Yes, the Empretech one, we advise that at least you should be already in business for at least 5 years plus. But we also have other products that address starters. We have a product called the Business Enterprise Startup Tool. You can always see us, come here, and we see how to get you on board. I'm trying to look for the other question from Fazil. Yes, David Vatega, is there a possibility that a business grows, her vision can change? In the longer term, yes, this can happen. All these, the goals, the objectives, they are flexible. In fact, we are supposed to adjust depending on especially the internal and external circumstances of the business. So adjustments can be made. Maybe in the short term, especially for the vision, it may not be possible. But in the longer term, yes, you can adjust. I'm looking for Fazil, who had among the first questions. I'm wondering what should I do in case I realize that the goals set for the last 6 months, a goal cannot be attained due to some, yes, internal and external factors. Yeah, you can always adjust your goals. You can always visit them, especially when you are doing the monitoring. It is helpful to see after you have monitored and you have seen the pace at which things are happening, then you can make the necessary adjustments. These are not like what we call the Medo-Persian laws, which do not change. These ones can be adjusted. The other question, moving, the difference between goals and targets, we have looked at that. Otherwise, most of these are appreciations. What aspects of business? This is Dr. James. What aspects of business must be considered in general? We have spoken about this. Maybe you wrote this before. I went down to the 5 pillars for business growth. We have ably tackled this. All right. So, Rosemary, I think I've gone through the key questions raised here. Otherwise, most of the entrepreneurs are appreciating. And we take note of the appreciation. Thank you so much. Over to you, Rosemary.
All right. Thank you, Noah. There was a question from Stephen. It was not directly related to the topic, but I thought I could just respond. He was asking, Stephen, I think to Mwejuke, somebody was asking about, he has a social enterprise and you know, what does he use? Board of directors or trustees? But just quickly say that usually board of directors relate to a company that is for profit. And so trustees would come in a company where you're doing, it's a charity and these are voluntary. And so depending, so if yours is a social enterprise, you may, and you're not making any profit, then you may want to go for trustees to be able to play the oversight role over your institution. And then there's another question here from John Bosco. How can I attract more customers to my business, which has few customers? Again, Bosco, what I can simply say here is that you are in business to solve a problem. You provide a solution. And so the question is, before you talk about attracting more customers, what solution are you providing and to who? Because once you know what it is you're providing and to who, you have defined that and you're clear in your mind, you have a mental picture of your customers, then it becomes easier for you to target because business grows through repeat customers. And so before even you talk about growing, the current few customers you have, one, do you know them? Two, do you get feedback from them? Are they happy with your product before you talk about getting more customers? So we need to be looking at that. One, what solution am I providing? to who, and am I actually solving the problem? Because if you're solving a problem, then your business is going to grow through referrals from satisfied customers. Those few can actually grow. And so the other thing is get to know those customers, follow them up, make sure you give excellent customer care to those few, and through them, they are able to roll out and bring in more. They'll be your raving ambassadors talking about this product that you're putting. So let's pay attention to our product as we think about how to grow customers. Yes. So I think that there's a question from Paul. Noah, there's a question from Paul. He's saying, I'm ready to start production or manufacturing, but I don't know where exactly to start from. Do you want to take a go at that? Noah? Where does he start from? He wants to know. John Paul says, I'm ready to start production or manufacturing, but I don't know where exactly to start from. Again, he's relating to goal setting. So where do I start? Where does he begin from? I think, yes, you can go on.
Thank you so much. If it's related to goal setting, then we can handle it from another angle. But if it is from the market perspective, he has not told us manufacturing of what. Maybe he should have been clear on that to help us see how to approach it. But from the goal setting perspective, yes, you want to manufacture. Assuming you had told us your product, we don't want to put a product for you. Definitely, there are key things that you need to look at. What do you want to achieve, especially in terms of the sales that you want to make? Maybe that will now drive you back to the production that you intend to have over a given period of time. So you need to set goals around sales, around production, but also around profit. Of course, even if initially you may not make the profit, but just set the targets regarding the profit. But also, since you haven't yet started, you could need also to explore the investment, especially in terms of the initial investment capital, but also looking at the working capital that you need to get started. So I'm sharing this from the perspective that all these are not yet in place, but in case the investment capital is available, the working capital is available, then you can commit that. Thank you.
Yes, Noah, Ndage asked a question and she's saying, you didn't respond to it. Let me read that question. I've scrolled and found it. She's saying, my vision is setting a rehabilitation center for substance abuse. First is to educate adolescents to avoid drug use in schools, educate parents on how to care and relate with their children, and then community outreach. Now, I just completed my master's certificate. How should she start the business, her rehabilitation center? That's what she wants to hear. So a little related to what you just answered, but please respond to Ndage. How can she start that business?
Okay, thank you so much. Ndage, rehabilitation center. Do you want to do this as a business? If you want to do this as a business, then still you have to get back to the drawing board on key essentials for you to get started. I do not have information whether you have already identified the place or the location and the facility, or whether you just want to have this somewhere, a one-room office. I don't know if you have also looked at the potential market in terms of the people who would be coming for the service. Maybe you needed just to have a simple research, but do not be lost in the research. But also you needed also to get more information, especially on what exactly these potential clients may need in terms of the rehabilitation services. So yes, you can also get more information from us, but also we need more time to sit with you and dive deeper a little bit into the needs of your business, then we can advise accordingly. Otherwise, just from the onset of this question, we may not have the relevant information to see how to advise you better. So please get in touch with us. We can always create time and discuss this further. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Noah. So yes, I think we've had a couple of questions on how to start business, and I just want to repeat what I said earlier, that our 6-day entrepreneurship training workshop is both for those who are in business and want to grow their business, are in business and are struggling, the business is about to collapse on them, and those who are not in business and want to start business. So this training is for all of you. So I would want to encourage you to sign up for this training. It will help you to be able to put together, to understand how to start a business. So Rebecca, please think about that, and everybody else was asking. But generally, the basic principle of starting a businesses are set up to address needs or gaps or to address problems that you find in your immediate community or environment. And so before you start, or as you think about starting a business, there are two questions you must ask yourself. What problem am I trying to solve? What need have I identified? The need must be very clear to you. Then the second question then becomes, so what solution do you want to provide to that need? What part are you going to provide a total solution for that problem, or is it a specific, a partial solution? And so you need to be very specific, because it is that solution now that becomes your business. Then the key question then comes, how do you then package this solution? So issues like, first of all, what resources do you have? What skills do you have? How much market information do you have? What people do you want to work with? What kind of customers are you targeting? So all those questions come. And I think that is a bigger conversation. And I'd like to invite you, walk into Enterprise Uganda, send us an email, and we should be able to engage with you one-on-one to understand your unique circumstances and be able to help you actually understand, start your business, or deal with whatever issues that you are. So this session is really just to give us a bit of insights, to challenge us, to open up our minds, and to set us on course to start thinking about how to vision, how to set goals, but most importantly, how to take action. And so Noah has shared ably. We are going to share with you the presentations online. You will find a link to the presentations, and all other previous business recovery series that we've held the whole of last year are all available online for your use, for your reference, and for you also to share with others who are in business and may not be aware of this session. And so beyond this, you're welcome to Enterprise Uganda to engage us. Come for our business health check, the complimentary health check. The link is shared as well. Sign up. We shall come visit you at your business, engage with you, understand your business, and probably show you certain aspects of your business that you didn't understand. Maybe highlight the strengths you had that you didn't even know, or the weaknesses you had that you didn't know, and then together we support you to be able to address these and grow your business. And so this is really an open invitation to us to come to Enterprise Uganda, and we should be able to support you in all your business needs, and together we grow. And so I want to thank you all. I want to bring this to a close and to thank you all for making this very wise decision to join us this morning and to get to know how to start your year on a right footing by setting goals. If you are struggling setting goals, again, give us a shout and we shall be able to walk with you, guide you on how you can actually come up with the SMART goals that are realistic and that are achievable. And these should be able to drive your business forward. And so I want to thank you all. Please continue to check in the chat group for those who have advertised, who have told us about their businesses. I see many of us have posted what we do. And so let's use this as an opportunity to network, to give each other business, to support one another, and continue the networking after this. And so with that, I want to again thank you and to bring this to a close, to remind you to get into those links and sign up for our business health check, complimentary. Sign up for the entrepreneurship training, but also give a call to us or walk into Enterprise Uganda anytime, and we should be able to support you with whatever needs that you have with your business. So thank you very much. Have a blessed week. Till we meet next Thursday, same time. please share the link with a friend, invite a friend, and let us together make a difference this year in our personal lives, but also in our businesses. Your moderator today was Rosemary Mutiable, Director, Partnership and Ecosystem Development, Enterprise Uganda.